Our next step in our fraction adventure is subtracting mixed numbers. So I am going to show you the steps on how you will subtract mixed numbers. And I've started with a very basic example to get us going. 3 and 5/6 minus 1 and 2/6. Now I could draw a picture of this, and before I start drawing it, I have to look closely at my denominator. It is a 6. That means every picture I draw has a hole with 6 parts in it. I know I have 3 holes and at least a little bit more. So I'm going to draw 4 holes over here. And I'm going to divide each of them into 6 equal parts. Now I'm going to color in 3 and 5/6 of that picture. This is going to give me 1 hole out of my 3. This is going to give me another hole out of my 3. This is going to give me the third hole out of my 3. And now the last hole I have, I'm not going to color in all of it. I'm going to color in 5 out of the 6 parts. Okay, so that's a visual that represents 3 and 5/6. But I need to take away 1 and 2/6. When I draw my pictures, I like to start from the bottom to get rid of things, but I can take away any one of these holes. I'm going to take away this one. I get rid of it completely. I don't have it anymore. Then I also need to take away the fraction 2/6. I'm going to take it away from this one because it's already a fractional part anyway. So I'm going to get rid of 1/6 and 2/6 that I have. Now, if I look at what I have left, I still have 1 hole here. I have another hole there. And in this last part, I have 3 out of 6. And if I put all of these together, I have 1, 2, and 3/6. So my answer would be 2 and 3/6. But as you know, drawing a picture isn't always the most practical way of solving. It can help us a lot, and it's a good way to check, but sometimes maybe we want to try a different strategy. So another strategy for solving this same problem here is to stack these numbers. 3 and 5/6 minus 1 and 2/6. Now, it's important to remember we need to keep our numbers in this order. The 3 and 5/6 is the larger mixed number, and we're taking away the smaller mixed number. The commutative property does not apply to subtracting. It only applies to addition and multiplication, of course, but we're talking about addition, subtraction. So I will start on the right side and move to the left as you do in all subtraction problems. And I keep my denominator the same as a 6, and I'll subtract my numerators. 5 minus 2 is 3. Then I can take my whole number, 3, and subtract the 1, which would give me 2. And as you can see, my answers are exactly the same, 2 and 3/6. So you can see it as a visual, and you can also see it when we're just stacking the numbers. All right, let's try one more that's similar to that, and then we'll move on to some harder things. 7 and 6/7 minus 4 and 2/7. Okay, this time I'm going to stack the numbers first. 7 and 6/7 minus 4 and 2/7. And notice I'm being very careful to keep my numbers in the correct order. Starting from the right and moving to the left, I have the denominator of 7 that stays the same. 6 minus 2 is 4, which gives me my numerator. Then I take my whole numbers, 7 minus 4, and I get 3. My answer is 3 and 4/7. Now, let's draw a picture of that and see if it comes out the same way. 7 and 6 sevenths. That means I have to draw 8 holes to start. And this is why drawing pictures isn't always the most practical way of doing things, because it's going to take me a little bit of time to draw all of these. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And they are all going to be divided into 7 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow, this is taking a long time. So I think there's an easier way to do this. Okay, so we have 8 parts that are divided into 7 equal pieces each. I know 7 of these 8 parts are completely colored in. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 holes colored in. This last one, I have 6 parts colored in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That last little part isn't colored in. Okay, so I'm taking away 4 and 2 sevenths. And again, I like to start from the end. Get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, and get rid of 1, 2 of those sevenths there. I'm going to count what I have left. 1, 2, 3 holes, and 1, 2, 3, 4 out of that last group of 7. And once again, you can see that these answers are identical. These are pretty simple, but it gets more challenging. So sometimes you will see problems that look like this. 2 and 1/4 minus 1 and 2/4. At first, it doesn't look so bad. Numbers aren't that big, not too much to worry about. However, let's stack them. 2 and 1/4 minus 1 and 2/4. Notice I kept them in the right order. I'm going to start from the right and move to the left. 1/4 minus 2/4. I can't do that. Even if I keep my denominator the same, I can't do 1 minus 2. That's not possible. So I need to do some regrouping. All right. And when we regroup in regular subtraction, we sometimes take away from the larger place value and give that same value to the lesser place value. And pretty much that's exactly what we're going to do here. I'm going to take away 1 whole from this 2. So I'm going to turn this 2 into a 1. And I know that 1 whole, when we're talking about fourths, 1 whole is the same as saying 1, 2, 3, 4 fourths. So I'm going to give my fraction 4 fourths. Well, 1 plus 4 is 5. And I keep my denominator the same. So in order to make this a little bit clearer for me, I'm going to rewrite it. 1 and 5/4 minus 1 and 2/4. And this means exactly the same thing as 2 and 1/4 minus 1 and 2/4. I've just taken away one of the whole groups of 2 and broken it down into 4 pieces, so it's a fraction, and added it to that fraction. It's regrouping with fractions. Now, I can look at my fractions. I can keep my fourths the same, and now I can subtract 5 minus 2, which is 3. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So my answer is 3/4. Let's do this with a picture and make sure we did it correctly. 2 and 1/4. That means I need to draw 1, 2, 3 holes, and I know they won't all be colored in, but I'm going to break them all into 4 pieces. And I am going to color in 2 hole pieces. 2 holes. There's one. Here's another one. And the last one is 1/4. Okay, so this picture right here represents 2 1/4. And I am taking away 1 2/4. So I'm going to get rid of this whole chocolate bar there. And also going to get rid of 1 2/4. Now, when I look at this, I do not have any holes left. I only have part left. 1, 2, 3. 3/4, which is the same as my answer there. Okay, we're going to do one more of these tricky ones, and then I'm going to have you practice on your own. Now, just so you know, you do not have to do both the pictures and the stacking. But sometimes for me, if I do both, they help me understand the problem better. So it might take you some extra time, but it's not a horrible idea. All right. Our last problem, and I'm going to make this one seem like it's a lot harder, but it's really not going to be too much harder. I'm going to say 27 and 1/3 minus 11 and 2/3. That is my subtraction problem. All right, I'm going to start by stacking them. Now, this one, I don't want to draw out 27 holes. I don't want to take away 11 and 2/3. That's just going to take me too long. So I'm really going to count on my regrouping for this. 27 and 1/3 minus 11 and 2/3. I know that I can't take 2/3 away from 1/3, so I need to regroup. I'm going to make 27 a 26, and I'm going to add 3/3 to 1/3 because I know 3/3 is equal to that 1 hole I took away from 27. So 1/3 plus 3/3 equals 4/3. Now, to help myself from getting confused, now I'm going to rewrite the whole problem. 26 and 4/3 minus 11 and 2/3. 4 minus 2, I can do that, is 2, and I keep my denominator the same. 26 minus 11, I can do that. 6 minus 1 is 5. 2 minus 1 is 1, and I'm left with 15 and 2/3. So if you have any questions on how to do these, please let me know. Give yourself some time to practice and make mistakes because it is tricky. And feel free to refer back to the video at any point if you would like to. And let's quickly make a list of the steps we just followed. Step number 1 is stack your fractions or your mixed numbers. Step number 2 is subtract the fractions. If you can't, because the larger fraction is smaller than the bottom fraction, I should rephrase that, because the top fraction is smaller than the bottom fraction, then you need to regroup. And then the third part is subtract your whole numbers. This is the most challenging work we have done with fractions so far, so be gentle with yourself, do your best, don't be afraid to make mistakes. We learn from our mistakes, and I know you're going to do awesome. Talk to you soon.